There's a joke that says, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. How do you come up with something game-changing? One idea at a time. You might like to play the legal creatives idea of 50 uses for a paperclip. I mean, you're going to get beyond sort of punching a hole, earring, necklace fairly soon. And probably when you get to sort of the mid-20s, you've got some really innovative ideas. So coming up with game-changing ideas isn't easy. About 7 years ago, when I was looking at trying to write a contract in 500 words, the first thing I did was get rid of all the words. So how do you write a contract in 500 words? Well, one word at a time. You have to think carefully about what each word means. But first of all, I wanted to create categories. So I created 10 categories. There's only 8 on this. But this is what used to be called a fortune teller, and it's a piece of origami. It's a square that's divided into lots of triangles, and then you fold it in a specific way, and then you can open it up and use it. You used to use it to tell a fortune. Now, mine obviously doesn't tell your fortune. It certainly doesn't tell your contract fortune. But I thought it was a kind of a neat little way of representing contracts. So it looks like this. And you can open it up and see 8 of the things that I thought were important. So it looks at time, quality, risks, remedies, cost, work, limits, and objectives. These are some of the more traditional and some of the more modern items that you get in a contract. Now, you can do that with the contents of a contract, the 500-word contents maybe, but you can also look at how you do contracting. A few years ago, somebody sent me an NDA to sign. It was really simple, really clear, thumbs up from me. But the process by which they wanted me to sign it and execute it, so they had it on record that I'd read it, was for me to print, sign, scan, and return. Well, that made a nonsense. It was short enough to go into the body of an email. Now, the best thing about putting it into the body of an email is it can't be lost, forgotten, corrupted, overwritten. So if it's in the body of an email, we know exactly what was sent to me because it's not in a separate storage system. The other thing is, if it's in the body of an email, they can simply send a beginning of the NDA, which says, if you agree to the terms of this NDA, please reply with, I agree to the terms, or yes, or deal, or whatever you want them to say that works for you. And that's a perfectly good way of creating a contract. You see, signature was just our old-fashioned way of proving that somebody had received a copy. Often people signed with a cross because they couldn't sign their name. Well, if they couldn't sign their name, the chance of them being able to read what the contract said was pretty small. Now, nowadays, we assume literacy. But there are companies that are dealing with visual contracts to cover non-native speakers. We have companies who are dealing with graphic contracts and visualizations to make sure that the understanding isn't embedded, that it's easy to find, not just to read it and understand it, but to find it when you need it because it's in sort of a systematic process. There's all sorts of different ways that we can create a contract which is game-changing, whether it's through the content, through its design, through its accessibility, through the way it is signed, through the fact that it's available to SMEs at pretty low price so that they actually have democratically available legal processes. And millions of companies in the world do not have access to legal advice. So how can you be a game changer when it comes to contracts in your business? Is it because you take control of their content, their process? You don't just tick what other people send you? Or is it by doing something really, really innovative? It's up to you to decide because it's your business and your contracts need to safeguard your business without annoying your clients.